Hello, I'm Dr. Leonard Matheson, the author of Your Faithful Brain, Designed for So Much More. This video is a brief introduction to Chapter 1, Redemption and Rehabilitation. In this and following chapters, we explore neuroscientific findings about brain health and development that entirely support Jesus' teaching. And we ask a fundamental question. Could neuroscience be an additional path to faith? The subtitle of Your Faithful Brain is Designed for So Much More. The premise of the book is based on three interrelated ideas. The first is that your brain was designed for a faithful relationship with God. The second idea is that your brain was designed to be ready for redemption. And the third idea is that your brain was designed to flourish in God's created reality. And I began Chapter 1 with a controversial idea linking redemption and rehabilitation. I got some pretty fierce pushback from some conservative evangelical Christians by substituting the word rehabilitate for redeem in John 3:16 and 17. And my argument is that the design of our brain indicates to me that God designed us to be ready for rehabilitation after we experience redemption. I believe that we are redeemed by the love of Jesus, and what extends from that is that redemption readies us to be rehabilitated in our relationship with Jesus as we embrace and integrate his lessons and examples in our lives. And a key piece of this comes from Jesus' own words. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. These commandments from Jesus are at the core of optimal brain health and development. Nothing needs to be added and nothing can be taken away. This is necessary and sufficient. Redemption sets the stage for neurorehabilitation through three powerful brain mechanisms. Neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, and neuroconsolidation are harnessed by a relationship with Jesus. Each of these mechanisms optimally unfolds out of a relationship with Jesus. This truth was recognized by Paul the Apostle more than 2,000 years ago. In fact, I refer to Paul as the Neurorehab apostle. In Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Paul is describing what we now call neural rehabilitation. I teach counselors at the master's level at Covenant Theological Seminary on transforming and renewing your mind based on the life and examples of Jesus and the teachings of the apostles. We talk about the brain regions and networks that are involved. For example, renewing of your mind begins with the reception and processing of language, which for most people is in the brain's left hemisphere. We learn how prayer and counseling can optimally access these areas. We learn that Paul's focus on transformation really is talking about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's constant process of connecting and modifying connections in response to experience. This occurs optimally with ongoing and focused just right challenges that are undertaken within the context of grace, moderated stress, proper exercise, sleep, and nutrition. I also work with my students to understand that renewing your mind has to do with neurogenesis. Neurogenesis is the birth and growth of new neurons. 21 days after conception, your brain began as a tube of neurons growing from stem cells. Millions of new neurons were created every hour and began migrating up your neural tube to become integrated with all of the other neurons to organize your brain. But for me, the most important part of Romans 12:2 has to do with testing and approving what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. This is the process of neuroconsolidation within the context of a relationship with Jesus. And neuroconsolidation really needs to be within that context because it's a values-based mechanism. Our brain was designed with dominant neural networks based on our values. As we take in new information, screening by the values centers of our brain allows testing and approval or rejection of the new information. And that's why the development of God-honoring, resilient values before adolescence is so important. Harnessing neuroconsolidation to reflect family values by parents and teachers, Sunday school teachers and pastors before adolescence is really our best opportunity to develop God-honoring values that are highly resilient. And so thank you for your time and attention. We welcome your feedback. Please send ideas, questions, and/or concerns to Faithful Brain Institute, www.faithfulbrain.com.